I read, and I don't know where I read it, I don't remember to be honest with you, but I read that churches can be classified or categorized into 5 basic types, 4 of which are unhealthy and 1 of which is healthy. And the first is a church that is dying. A church that is dying is driven by its desire to survive. So every decision that is made with the idea, can we get through this? A church that is small, the second type, a small church, is driven generally by the efforts of one single individual who does everything. Now, this may be the pastor who is doing everything, or it may be a lay leader, but basically all the main decisions, all the real important decisions, all the real effort, all the real work, it all comes back to one person. There is the medium-sized churches, which are not usually driven by the effort of one person, but they are driven by the systems which reflect the personality of one person. So these are those churches where they've grown, and maybe that one individual can't do everything, but what everybody thinks in the back of their head is, what would so-and-so do in this situation? Or what would so-and-so want me to do? Or if I do this, how will so-and-so react? And then there are large churches where the church is driven by its programs, where those in leadership have established certain programs that are going to repeat themselves in perpetuity. And what drives the church forward is the maintenance of those programs. So the church is big, it attracts a lot of people, there's people coming, and things look good, but it's not necessarily healthy, because what is moving the church forward is its programming and not the purpose for that programming. So each of those 4 are considered to be unhealthy categories of church, in the sense of church organization, in the sense that what is driving the church forward in each of those instances is not its purpose for existence, but rather trying to maintain based on something else. The 5th category is the category of the healthy church, and that is a church that is driven by its mission. A healthy church understands why it exists and the core ideas into which its purpose and its principles are grounded. It understands how these things impact its overarching strategy and inform its plans and its practices. The healthy church knows how it will accomplish these things, and does so through its activity, rather than allowing its activity to be the thing which drives it. In order to move from the first 4 stages to the 5th one, you always have to be proactive. You always have to be innovative. You always have to be coordinated. You take a step back and you look at what it is that God has called you together to be, and you allow that vision to reveal opportunities, to establish goals, and to reveal the obstacles to those opportunities. And then you set out to address that, to move forward in that strategically, but also prayerfully. Over the course of the last few years, this is what the Community Church of Pine Run has been doing, and this is what we are attempting to do, is to continue to move forward from being a church that was focused by and driven by its need to survive, to continue to move forward from being a small church that was driven by one personality, by one person, to continue to move forward from being a medium church, which is kind of where we are now, where we're driven by one personality, and to avoid becoming the large church that's simply driven by its programs. We want to be a healthy church that is driven forward, that is called forward, that is motivated and inspired by the mission of Jesus Christ, to see all of the world know him and love him and live fully alive in him through the truth of his gospel, the gospel of the kingdom of God. On that journey, we have accomplished great things so far. We've seen great ministry happen. Our worship and arts has begun to flourish between our Sunday morning gatherings and Artist Anonymous and painting classes and things like that. And there are more ideas to come that we're looking at. Our discipleship and education has begun to flourish as we've brought in Pastor RJ, and we're seeing the things that he is doing, and he's giving us his classes on Near Christianity, and he's got some other stuff coming up. And we've seen the expansion of our stewardship and community service is beginning to happen as people are getting excited and they want to be a part of that cooperative philanthropy that we're building. And so there are wonderful things happening right now, and there are greater things yet to come, because our God, who began a good work in us 160 years ago, he is faithful, and he will bring it to completion. No matter what happens, he is always faithful, and he will not let us go. So I'm excited to tell you about what's been going on, and I'm excited about what's going to be coming next. And I would be so privileged if you came out and joined us and caught a glimpse of how God is drawing us to himself, of how he's strengthening our families, and how he's beginning to transform our community through the work that he's doing here. So, thank you for your prayers, thank you for your support, and hopefully we'll see you soon.